Hey there, I'm Jennifer Fowler, productivity coach and your host of the Childfree Biz Cafe, the podcast where child-free entrepreneurs redefine success on their terms. In each episode, I sit down with inspiring business owners and creators, exploring their unique journeys, challenges, triumphs, and lessons learned. Passionate about the incredible fulfillment of the child-free lifestyle, we'll chat over your favorite coffee or tea in our virtual cafe. Get ready for insightful conversations, empowering stories, and a community that embraces their child-free life. This is the Child-Free Biz Cafe, where fulfillment and happiness meets entrepreneurship. Today, I'm so excited to be talking with Cindy Lee. After many years of making homemade cards and purchasing store-bought cards, Cindy created a concierge, helping small business owners stay in touch with clients with a gratitude gift service and excursion services for busy small business owners wanting to live her life with joy and purpose, and with the philosophy that we have two dates in a dash. Live the dash, tomorrow is not promised. She started to turn her mission from vacation chef to the OG bucket list coach. Cindy received many signs along the way that she was truly on to something and transitioned her business to a travel agency brand known as the Bucket List Coach Travel and Tours. Hi, Cindy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, so we'll talk more about your journey here in a moment, but in general, tell us more about yourself.
Well, let's go into story. So everybody has a story, and I am a child-free entrepreneur. Just happened to end up that way. I always did want children. Ended up tying up with a company here in Southern California who does orphanage trips. So that's kind of my heart, and that actually helps me get through. Sometimes Mother's Day is a little tough because I know I can't be a mother, but God does things for a reason, and that's why we're here because we have this journey and we wanted to tell your story through your podcast.
Yeah. So part of your story is the hysterectomy. So let's start there.
I believe I was in my late 30s and I just wasn't feeling good. I went through several different doctors. A couple doctors said nothing was wrong with me. And as a woman, we all know that we're an advocate of our own health and we know that
Mm-hmm.
something's going on because I was having issues from when I was around 16 years old. And it went all the way into age 39
Mm-hmm.
and ended up having a hysterectomy. I was so sick. I literally thought that was the end of my life until I found this doctor who was able to give me a biopsy and check really what was going on. So all those years later, I'm going to be 59 this year, and next year I'm going to be 60, and life is amazing. And it's just all about who we surround ourselves with. You want to surround yourself by those who celebrate you and not tolerate you. And that's really how your business is going to grow, and also find ways to connect others to others. Be the connector. Because it's not
Yeah.
about your business, it's about being the connection person.
Yeah, and you've certainly helped me connect with some other people, so that's been amazing too.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what was your transition like, realizing that you weren't able to have kids, and then the journey of the healing process through that and learning to enjoy a life without kids?
It's still sometimes difficult, but we just have to realize that where life is, it's where it was meant to be. So sometimes things don't work out as the way we want to. And besides, I'm a very busy lady on vacation. I probably take about 2, 3 vacations a month. So it kind of all worked out good. And God just put me in the right spot in the right time.
Yeah. So tell us more about how you actually got into the travel concierge.
Well, I will go back to another story. When I was 16 years old, I sent a card to Princess Diana for her wedding. And I didn't realize that until just a couple of years ago that that was actually on my 16th birthday, July 29th. And what are the odds that that would happen? And so I started seeing what she was doing. I ended up getting a servant heart from her, giving back to orphanages and, spending time with children and stuff like that. And it was just, I know, I just felt this connection with her. So about, I want to say about 12 or 15 years after that, I actually ended up starting a concierge where I would help people with various services, housekeeping, chef service, and I started adding the cards and gifts because one of my clients that was one of my catering clients, he's like, you send all these great cards throughout the year and all these gifts to remind us, that we're important. Have you thought about doing this as a business for small business owners who don't have the time to follow up. So I added that. And then in 2012, I added travel to my life. I've existed most of my life. My parents took me to Yosemite and Disneyland, but I never was able to go to Europe or on a cruise or anything like that. So I started this travel club, or I became a member of a travel club, and it really, really wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted something that I was going to call my own. So I ended up joining a travel agency out of LA here in 2018. And then again, it happened again. One of my clients is like, "Oh, wow, I see what you're doing. Why don't you add travel to the concierge?" I'm like, "Great, that sounds amazing." Yeah. So anybody who is a small business owner, they need to be on top of follow up. They need to let their clients know that they care, because people don't care until they know that we care. When I first met you, I believe I sent you a card within a week of meeting you.
Yeah,
So that whole touchy feeling and letting people know that they are important, that it's not always about the sale. And that's really what it boils down to is those personal connections. Get off Facebook and connect at a local level. Go to a restaurant. Here in Southern California, just yesterday I went to a dolphin excursion and it was $37 a person. So just the little things that you can do to create those memories is what's going to be very powerful. And take the time, like for me, myself, I spend about 20 hours a week connecting people to other people.
yeah,
So take the time to do that, because when you help others, it's going to come back to you tenfold.
absolutely. So tell us more about this book.
So this book is Growing Your Business Through Referrals and National Days. And I talk about all these different ways to follow up. And the most important chapters in my book is called the social media etiquette chapter. So I talk about how you behave online, how important it is to behave online. When you're building your business, you don't want to reach out to other friends. And you definitely want to be careful with all the hackers that are going on, especially on Facebook. So you want to constantly change your password or come up with a password that probably no one could think of. And yeah, because last year I actually was a part of the Lily Collins hack. And so, yeah, there was some
Mm,
stuff that happened, and I lost my Facebook page for about 3.5 months. So,
yikes.
and when you're posting online or when you're commenting on somebody's posts, build them up. Don't talk down to them. If there's something maybe you want to talk to that person about, never do it on a public forum. Give them a phone call or do a direct message on that platform. You just want to really build people up. You don't want to be the person who's always negative and talking down to others, because misery loves company, right? So if
Hmm.
you're connecting with those types of people, then yeah, you're always going to be in a negative mindset.
Yeah, that's something I noticed that I've had to really learn to try to find, especially being child free and just being like the black sheep of the family, pretty
Yes.
much.
Right.
Yeah, it's just finding, I don't like the phrase, but yeah, just finding my tribe, other people who
Mhm.
actually understand and like we've got too much we want to do ourselves to even worry about what everyone else is doing.
Yes. And another thing I want to tell your audience that's really important, no matter what has happened in your past, that does not dictate your future. So I actually
Right.
was on a podcast about a month ago and talked about how you could turn tragedy into triumph. So it's so important to do that. And a lot of people are still living in the past. If you had a bad relationship, a bad marriage, say, for instance, a bad business partner, whatever the case may be, you can't let that define who you are. Because if you do, then you'll never be successful, because you still have that running in your headspace. So it's important to get out of your
Mhm.
head,
Absolutely.
because we're all going to go through some times. I mean, it's life is not
Right.
perfect, you know.
No, it
Yeah.
certainly is. No matter what social media says, it certainly is not. It's like a wild roller coaster ride.
Yes. Yes.
So how'd you make time to do your business and writing a book, doing your volunteer work, and also being a caregiver?
Good question. Yeah, so you want to make time. You want to have your me time. And importantly, what I talked about earlier, connect with your social media friends, get off the computer and go meet out in the community,
Hmm.
volunteer together, do things together. Here in Huntington Beach, there's a lot of different organizations that you could donate. As a matter of fact, for the month of April, it's National Volunteer Month, and teach your young children. I know this is about childless entrepreneurs, but if you're listening and you are a parent, you want to teach your children at a younger age how to pay it forward, how to be a servant leader, and just be in that mindset. Because when you're a giver, then all amazing things will come back to you tenfold.
Yeah. And even those of us with like nieces and nephews,
Yes.
teaching them as well.
Because all that should be taught at the younger age, because
Hmm.
as we get older, a lot of us are thinking that things need to come to us because that's what we were taught. And another thing is that a lot of the stuff we learn from our parents, sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive, but
Hmm.
you as a person need to come out of that box and be your own person. It's like
Exactly.
some really bad childhood memories. It's like, well, you can't live in that childhood memory. You have to create your own memory in a positive way. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Totally changing the trajectory of what you learned.
Yeah. It's like some of the memes, toxicity stops with me kind of thing, where it's got the matches and then they're all burning and then you go outside of that and then it stops burning. Love that.
You just want to surround yourself with the right people. There's someone who's going to be negative and talk down to you. It's okay to remove them from your life because you're going to actually see a much more abundance mindset and even family. I mean, there's times
Yes.
where family really isn't serving you. And you'll
Hmm.
see once you remove those people who aren't serving you and who aren't respecting you and especially supporting small business owners, small business owner arena is a very tough industry. And one thing I also want to talk about is don't listen to any of the naysayers. When I first
Right.
started my brand, one of my ex-business partners said that they don't like the word bucket list. So, I have a feeling about this because originally, it was chef and people couldn't understand what is the vacation chef? Does that mean that you're going to cook at my villa in Cabo? What does that mean?
Hmm.
So I like bucket lists because I was living a life that I was existing until I found, oh my God, I could actually take a cruise or I could travel. And it all started by working for a cruise line at the end of my culinary career. That's where it all started.
Oh, how cool.
And then when I started my concierge and social media business, I woke up one day and I worked 120 hours. And like, yes, I'm a small business owner, but I'm working for other people. It's almost like I
Hmm.
have a job, like a
Yeah.
9 to 5. Like I'm not an entrepreneur because I spent all my time focusing on them. So it is hard to build a business, but you just need to change the mindset that and tell yourself you don't want to always tell yourself this is hard, this is hard. Technically, we know it's hard because you have to build relationships, you have to market your company. And if you're going to become a successful business owner, you actually have to put some money out to market yourself for
Hmm.
trainings and learning YouTube and social media and all that stuff and get connected with the right people like yourself and time management is super important. So you could connect with Jennifer and she could actually help you as a virtual assistant, which is going to help you with that time.
And
It's all about,
productivity coach.
yes, definitely.
So, out of my own curiosity, what's it like working on a cruise?
Crazy. So when I worked on the cruise ship, it was 4 months. Now it's around 9 months. The average cruise employee works anywhere from 8 to 9 months.
Wow.
Yes.
Does it feel like you're on vacation half the time though?
Nope. Actually, one time I was 4 hours late for work because in the crew quarters, you have a dark, you don't have a balcony, of course. You just have the four walls around you. And I worked, I think, a triple shift the day before, and
Oh,
I was
wow.
4 hours late for work. And chef's like, Cindy, what's going on? I just overslept, chef. Sorry, but no, it was a really great experience. And that's actually my second run of Hawaii, and that's when I fell in love with Hawaii, and I started my whole aloha spirit life. I mean, everything I live is in aloha spirit and teaching people the value of aloha.
Yeah. So tell us more about the National Day calendar.
So in 2015, I started sharing national days. In 2020, I reached out to the office there in North Dakota, said, do you have some kind of program, ambassador program? And they said, yes, we have a celebration ambassador program. I said, great. Because I post, these probably, I don't know, 5 to 6 times a week, sometimes more on different national days. And then when I got to build my friendship with the team, I said, you know what? I think I need my own national day. I want to create National Networking Day because I'm writing a book on networking. And in that book, we actually talk about how to leverage the National Day calendar. I come up with different ideas to build your business. Just last weekend, I did a fundraiser for Surfrider Foundation. Anybody who came to lunch at this a local restaurant called the Be Good Restaurant and Experience has all these lidded
Mhm.
affirmations all over the wall and just a beautiful feeling going in there. And then so a little over a month and a half ago, I was up in Northern California for Drink Wine Day. So I'm reaching out to different business owners based on the National Day. I come out, I bring people, I connect them. It's just a really good way to leverage a National Day calendar. And it goes back to being the connector. So if you use National Day calendar by leveraging those days, weeks, and months, it's really a great way to connect them to maybe people that never been to their restaurant or never
Yeah.
been to their donut shop or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And it's also cool that we finally have a child-free day, which took long enough.
Yeah, but you could go to the nationaldaycalendar.com and in the search bar, you could just type in whatever day you're looking for. And that National Bucket List Day is coming up a week from Wednesday,
Yeah.
April 24th.
Yeah, and your episode will go out for that. So we're excited about that as well.
And so, do you know what the bucket list is? How do you feel what your bucket list is, or what the average person would use for their bucket list?
What I've always known it to be is like, what are these top things that you want to do before you die? Preferably doing them well before you're too old to actually like go and do stuff or before your health gets too bad or anything, and just basically enjoying life more while you're actually alive, which
Yes,
is, I resonate with that quote you mentioned quite a bit because, yeah, it's like we only die once, but you get to live every day. So you might
exactly.
as well live it the way you want.
Or you could choose to exist in it. Then
Right.
and you let living. Yeah. So one of the things I want to say is I think why people create a bucket list, they get sick like myself and realize, that they're existing, or they're
Mhm.
90 years old and like, oh, holy moly, I'm 90 years old and I haven't really got to do the things I wanted to do. Maybe because I was afraid or I didn't have the money, I don't have the time. But the bucket list doesn't just stop at travel. I mean, we have all these destinations we want to travel to. Let's say Bali, you want to take a cruise, let's say Australia, you want to learn how to surf. Like in my case, I barely swim and I've surfed twice. But I just wanted to do it just to say I can do it.
Yeah.
And now I haven't done it in 3 years. So now I have to start all over and change my mindset of getting that fear out of my head. So then we have your fear bucket list, which, instead of surfing, like say you want to write a book, that would be a business bucket list. You want to go to an Anthony Robbins seminar, and I mean, just little things like girlfriend's trip or even
Yeah.
goals. You have your weekly, your daily, your monthly. I use those as my bucket list. I call them my bucket list goals
Oh,
for
well,
because there's a big range of the bucket list. So it's not just if you want to go somewhere. Oh, start a podcast. Yeah, that's a good bucket list. And married. There's so many things. I mean, for me, go on a naked cruise. I want to do it just because I said I did it, but I'm not going to partake in the festivities, but I want to do it just to check it off
yeah.
my list. And for those of us who are older, the cougar bucket list.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Those who always wanted to date a younger man, and they put that on their bucket list. And yeah, it's just little things that we want to do throughout our life that we think we could do it. And then why wait until you're 90 years old when you can do it now? No, you could start little. You don't have to go on a big $5,000 vacation to Europe.
Yeah.
Just do the little things in your own neighborhood and create those relationships. With you could do a restaurant bucket list like the best pasta in town, or the best sushi. We actually went to Cabo Wabo Huntington Beach yesterday, which is owned by Sammy Hagar, because he has a Cabo Wabo in
Ooh.
Cabo, and he also has one in Las Vegas, and I believe he has one in Tahoe as well. So it's the little bucket list. And then what you can do, you could go to the National Day calendar and see what's going on for the month of April. Like I mentioned, volunteer month.
Hmm.
And just in a couple days is Eggs Benedict Day coming up.
Yum.
Wednesday, and
My
also
favorite
work
breakfast.
in your pajamas day is Wednesday as well. So
I'm sure everyone can get behind that one.
yeah. So when I first started my national day, pigs in a blanket and bucket list day was it. And so if you did want to start a national day, you would look on a day that has maybe 2 or 3 days, not 15 days. Yeah, because you kind of got lost in the shuffle there. And if you want your own national day or you want to become an ambassador, just go to nationaldaycalendar.com and just go ahead and apply.
That's so cool. If I can come up with one, I'm going to have to do that too. I know there's some people out there who things like national days are really silly or whatever. I'm like, we're just trying to add fun to the marketing, or they're like, oh, they're just using that as an excuse for their marketing. I'm like, yeah, but not in the way you think. we're trying to add more fun and joy to things.
Well, because you're going to use it as an excuse to build somebody else up. Because
Yeah.
earlier that when you help other people grow their business, your
Hmm.
business is going to be the authority for the one who wants to pay it forward to the other business owner. Because it's all
Yeah.
going to come back to you tenfold. I think it was the greatest thing ever, having this national day calendar. And it actually was started by Marlo and Alice Anderson because of Popcorn Day, which is in January. So every year I send them a different gift. This year I sent the whole crew there little bags of popcorn that I have with my marketing companies. And the National Day calendar gave me a reason to send gifts throughout the year. So I like sending birthday gifts, half birthday gifts. I'll send something during the year that'll say, I'm thinking of you. Let me know when you're ready for your next trip, or when you want to, send a brownie out. And other times it has nothing to do about business at all.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that it's National Cherry Cheesecake Day? And included in this envelope is a $50 gift card to the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, so we have jelly beans in the service that I use for gifts. There's a jelly bean, so I'll send somebody a jelly bean. Yeah.
Yeah, because no one sends cards in the mail anymore. And who doesn't love a random gift throughout the year
Mm-hmm.
other than their birthday?
Well, Singles Awareness Day and week is right around Valentine's Day. So the 15th, I believe, is the
Mm,
day, and the week is, during that week.
yeah, that's also important too. It's okay to be single. Nothing wrong with that.
You just have to have a mindset of staying away from all that negative stuff that happens on Facebook and be a pay it forward entrepreneur. I mean, it's always going to go back to that.
Yeah.
So pay it forward to Jennifer, come on her podcast, review her, share her YouTube videos. And as a person who's a podcast host as well, it's so important to pay it forward back to someone. So if someone
Absolutely.
comes on my podcast, after the podcast, they do a review. For them to come back on my show, they have to do a review and they have to share the broadcast.
I like that. I haven't asked anyone to do that yet. And then I had my first person ask me to do that. So I might have to start that.
Yeah. Because the
Yeah.
more people talk about your business, and that's how I've grown my travel agency. In 2018, I had 2 agents. I mentor over 55.
Yeah.
So it's because of the constant communication, building those relationships, and having it be about them and how I could
Hmm.
help them. And in turn, a lot has come back to me too. So,
Yeah. Ooh. So when we're networking, it's very nerve-wracking for a lot of people, especially for introverts like me. I'm comfortable with it now because I know that success is on the other side of fear. And so I always try to make a point to get myself out there, but it is very scary at first. So, especially starting out or just anyone wanting to learn to network, whether it's in person or online, what's a simple way to not make talking to a bunch of people exhausting? Because as
well,
fun as it is to
it's,
talk to
yeah.
people, it's completely draining.
Well, I'll give you a big tip, and I don't know like how you would feel about this, but one of the things I talk about if you're networking, say for instance, it's a local chamber mixer in your
Mhm.
city. So instead of you just quick to hand your cards, when you meet people, go up to them, say, hi, my name is Jennifer. And today I want to connect you to somebody else. We could meet some other time so you get to know about me. But today I want to connect you to someone else. Give me 1 or 2 sentences about who you're looking for today. Give me about
Ooh.
30 minutes and I will come back. I'll either connect you with the card or I'll bring the person. And they'll say, well, Jennifer, but I really want to get to know about you. I said, well, today is about you, not about me.
Oh, I
So
love
when
that.
you lead in that type of mindset and integrity, because the business is going to come, but we just want to be the person who's known as a connector. I mean, normally at a chamber event, they have their ambassadors there that are greeting, but imagine how powerful it'd be for you to be a greeter and just go around the room and say, who would you like to meet today?
Yeah, I
I mean,
like
it's
that.
definitely stepping out of the box big time, especially if you're introverted a little. But you will actually see the fruits of your labor come through fruition by doing that, by making the time to. And you don't have to do that at a chamber mixer. You could just find someone's phone number on Facebook that you barely know and say, "Hey, I want to get to know you. Let's connect." And you schedule a one-on-one, and kind of just like how we did, you schedule a one-on-one, and you feel comfortable. You build that know, like, trust factor with them, and then you start connecting them to other people. Because a lot of times you can connect with someone right out of the gate, and
Yeah.
then within a day or two, you're already connecting. But you do need to tell each other what the best referral is, because
Mhm.
once you're done with that meeting, what if you meet somebody, let's say at another business meeting, or let's say in the Facebook group, oh, that person would be great for Sammy, or that person would be great for Sandra. I think I'm going to connect Sandra to this person. And now you know what they each do, and then you could do the connection.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I feel that's more doable than trying to feel like we have to try to get to everybody.
Yeah, and then slowly building those relationships. It's not sending a 5 paragraph dissertation on why they need
Yeah.
to click your link. It's about that relationship first. I mean, that happens on LinkedIn a lot. You get a lot of long paragraphs of stuff without them.
Hmm.
They don't even wish you a good morning, or how is it that I could help you? Let's meet for a one-on-one. I've actually had someone about a year ago do that. And I said, well, why don't we start over? Why don't we schedule a one-on-one, get to know each other? I would love to have your link, but let's build the relationship first. Let's actually get to see who each other is.
Yeah. How'd they
'Cause
respond to that?
some blocked, and another one said, you know what, you're right. We need to reconnect. We need to do this the right way. So, but a lot of network marketing companies,
Mhm.
they actually teach people to just stack people in, get people in left and right. I mean, when I was in that network marketing travel space, I think I was there 5 years, and I think I had 5 people in 5 years.
Mm.
Once people hear your spiel, so it has to be real and has to be you, not the
Yeah.
spiel of what the company gives. And there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with network marketing, but you need to know how to build it properly and how to build those relationships, because you can
Right.
do really well in network marketing if you have those relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest takeaway you want for everyone today?
Hmm. Biggest takeaway. Well, definitely live your dash. You have that the day you're born and the day you pass away. You want to live that in between time. You want to create those relationships. You want to get off Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and go to a nice restaurant or go dancing, go to a comedy club. It's National Humor Month for the month of April also. So look at national days as ways to connect with other people. I mean, some people may think it's silly, but it's really a great way to
Mhm.
connect with other people. And get some Facebook friends together and then collaborate with that business owner who owns that restaurant, or whatever kind of national day it is, say like a golf course or whatever it is. There's just a way that you can grow your business by being the person who wants to celebrate another business owner.
Yeah. And how can we connect with you?
You could go to bucketlistcoachtravel.com, or you could just look for Cindy Lee on Facebook.
All right. And I'll have all the links down below as well.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much, Cindy, for being here. And if you'd also like to connect with me, I am productively child free all over the internet. Come check out my YouTube channel and Instagram. And we'll see you in the next episode.